Good morning, guys. Today we're working on a Honda Recon 250 and we're doing front wheel bearings. I just did the left side and I'm about to tackle the right side, and so I stopped at this part of the project to show you guys the difference, so how you know your wheel bearing is bad. You might hear a whining noise, you might hear a grinding or like a wobble from the front, but a really good indication is it's like that kind of wobbly. These are really bad. If it wobbles when you grab it from the top to the bottom, oftentimes it's wheel bearing. If it's side to side like this, it could also be wheel bearing, but also tie rod. So let's do the wheel bearing first. Compare it to this side, tight. These ones are brand new. These ones are bad. So first thing, let's get that wheel off there so we can expose the front hub. So this is the front brake hub. It's what's directly behind the wheel. And as you can see, it's just a sloppy mess, just bad old wheel bearings in there. So we're going to get this axle nut off, and maybe it'll just slide right out. I don't know, we'll see. Maybe we have to pull it. So we got this nut off, and you got this little spacer in here which can come off, and that goes into the cavity here made by the dust boot. And even though it's a sloppy mess, it seems like it's a little rusted in there. So yeah, I'm gonna get my puller and work this guy out. So this is the kind of jaw puller that I use for these. There's a little lip right here on the edge of the drum, and I replace the axle nut here so that there's a little cup for the pull bolts to sort of sit in so it doesn't wander off. Just sort of gently pull it off, see it coming out. That should be pretty good. Let's back off. There we go. And now we're out. So we've got our bearings in here. I'm going to show you guys the carnage. So you guys can see how bad this got. See how all wiggly wobbly it is. We lost our one side of the bearing cover here. So you should have this on both sides. And lost all its internal lubrication and just all went to shit. So first thing we're going to do is pry these rubber dust boots off. We have new ones here, so we can just destroy them. I'll often take like if I can't get it like this, then I'll just take a hammer and drive it in here real carefully. You don't really want to damage this surface, but yeah, I got to get them out of there. We're going to do the other side here. Alright, now we're going to get the bearings themselves out of here. What I have is just this tool. It's just a piece of metal. And what we need to do is we have two bearings, one on this side and one on this side, and then there's a little collar in between. And we have to push the far one out that way. Can't just send the whole thing out. So let's go ahead and do it. Spin it around. Is that it? Almost. Making headway. So we got that out, and that's the little inner collar. And then the second one is easy, because you can just see it right there. So this one just comes out. Whoa, look, it all got destroyed. Now watch for this, guys. I destroyed that second bearing, but I left the outer race in here. So you don't want to forget about that. We got to get this guy out too. So you don't want to like destroy your new bearing trying to push this in here when the race is still in there. All right, cool. So we got them both out. Looking good. I'm going to clean up this surface, get some of the rust off of here, and then we're going to throw a little grease in there and then start reassembling. Now to reassemble, you're going to want a big socket like this. For this Recon, a 1 1/4 is perfect because it slides right in. It's almost like it was made for this job. You're going to take your new bearing and you set it up here, and you want this to push on the outer race, not the inner race. These are the races. You got this metal part on the outside, and then on the inside you're going to destroy your ball bearings if you push on the inner one. So we set it up right like this guy right like here, and then we just gently pound it on in until it seats. Just like that. Cool. So this one's seated. Flip it over. Don't forget your collar. Sort of set him on in there. And we got our new one. Same thing with that one. Don't forget about your 2 dust boots. You want the cup side, see how it's hollow? The cup side wants to go in. We're going to push those in and we're going to drive it in with the socket. Alrighty, now we're all back together. It looks a lot better. Everything else just pops on the way that it came off. Look at that. Much better.